So, hello everybody and welcome to Called Shenanigans. Might be a temporary title, but I quite like it. So, because there's no announcements whatsoever, as this is the first episode, we will jump right into it. So, my dear players, and well, yeah, I mean, we might give me a little time to relax and just go through it. How we're just gonna go left to right on my screen. So, Juno, if you could just tell us what character you are playing today.
Misunderstood background.
Yeah, that sums it up pretty nicely, I think.
I love the background of Jeff. It's glorious.
All right, then nerds.
Okay, so I am playing a half-elf hexblade because hexblades are busted, and I'm slowly getting to grips with just how busted. Thank you to everyone who's advised me to pick one of these. I'm a guy called Mervyn. I'm an ex-pirate or sailor, if the people I don't trust to not turn me into the authorities. And I am sort of holding a spear, but I'm going to be using probably a lot of Eldritch Blast today for the time being. So I'm very, very squishy.
All right, and last but not least, Skiga.
I can still not pronounce my race name properly, but I'm a UNT pureblood, and I'm a cleric. And I'm just mildly evil.
Just mildly.
Mildly.
All
What was
right.
your character name?
Solon.
Solon, that was it, yes.
Yeah, Solon Oleander.
Okay.
All right then. As you guys, then let's get into it. You guys are right now in the middle of a darkened chamber underground, being lit by only a few candles placed on top of the altar.
Mm-hmm.
And as all the cultists around you keep on chanting to your deity, Arnold, the cult leader who stands behind the altar, holds up a tiny puppy that looks a lot like a German Shepherd. And as the chanting gets louder and his face gets more erratic, you can clearly see bits of the puppy's fur falling out and the rest of the fur just starting to mat. And in the flickering lights of the candles, you can see the eyes, the puppy's eyes, turn a very strange yellowish hue, and its breathing starts to resemble that of a pug.
We're just mentally visualizing the breathing of a pug, like they struggle, bless them.
Oh yes, it sounds very much like it's struggling to breathe. Something your characters have never actually heard before.
Okay, so
Unless someone was
unsettled.
Yeah, unless you've been with someone that was very sick.
Oh, yeah,
It's
we
a
casually
bit
like
antsy.
tormenting people.
Yeah, Skivance's character's getting off on this.
Right.
Maybe.
Do we know why we are currently here?
Well, we joined this cult, haven't
yeah.
we?
Yes.
And-
But is this our first time witnessing this ritual, though, more relevantly?
Yes, this is the first time witnessing this kind of ritual. You have performed this ritual because Arnold wanted to show you the power that Versiopa has bestowed upon him. And as he lowers the puppy back onto the altar, the chanting stops, and some people start to gasp and whisper at the sight of it. And
So this dog has kind of changed from looking like one breed of dog to a completely different breed.
it has changed from being a fairly normal dog to a very strange and sickly looking dog.
So I'm going to get what I refer to as my notebook out, but it's actually a prayer book that someone gave Jeff a while back, and he didn't quite realize it was a prayer book. So he's just been doing little doodles on the backs of each pages, and he just kind of sketches a very poorly drawn big dog, then an arrow to a slightly smaller dog, and writes yellow eyes, cool.
All right.
I can imagine I've got a fairly strong stomach from being on the ocean, so much as the sight of the creature is not necessarily pleasant. It's certainly impressive that this has been able to be pulled off by one guy.
Well, Solon is mildly put excited about this.
Yes.
And is
imagine
already applauding her own ability to do that at some point, hopefully.
Right. Right. And as Arnold places the puppy on the altar and opens his arms, he looks at the gathered cultists and says, "Behold, the power bestowed by our deity. And this is just the beginning. We can, if we continue to praise her, transform every living thing that we wish to. Now go forth, get your rest. Tomorrow, we have important things to do." And as he lowers his arms back down, the other cultists start to shuffle around, and some of them leave the chamber. Others huddle together, quietly whispering.
Okay.
So
I'm sort of. Are the three of us stood slightly apart from the other cultists then? 'Cause this was sort of a demonstration for our benefit to some degree, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a demonstration for everyone, basically, as far as you know. This is the first time something like this happened.
Well, I nudged Jeff slightly and like, it's cool, sure, but is that actually better than the original dog? Like, it's a shame we don't have it so we can like race them or something.
I mean, I've seen the big dogs before. These smaller dogs look more expensive, I guess, more compact.
Yeah, I didn't think about the marketability.
Bigger's not always better, so.
See, this is one of the reasons I like Jeff, is that he thinks a little bit more outside the box than I do.
I've at this point, I've finished my drawings and I'm putting my notebook away. And I'm assuming it's kind of, we're obviously in this kind of dank, dark place, and it's pretty obvious there's evil people around. And without realizing, because Jeff's still just coming into his powers, he occasionally uses his divine sense accidentally, but his divine sense is kind of warped. So whereas normally it would be evil smells bad and good smells amazing, he's like sniffing going, "It smells really good, like proper best tavern steak and potatoes. Oh, I want to know what he used in that pot."
Oh yes, for you, it smells really nice in here. For everyone else, it's a little. Oh, it's an unusual smell. It certainly smells a lot like incense and, well, candles. But there's also this sweet, sweet, rotten smell that came out of nowhere that at some point during the ceremony just appeared, basically.
Hmm. Okay. So do we have like like assigned quarters at this cult HQ, or are we still relatively new arrivals?
No, actually, there's basically a group housing chamber for the people that don't have accommodations in the city. Some of the cultists are locals that have families, as far as you've heard. So some of them usually return to their homes, but about half of the people just sleep in one room where there's a bunch of sleeping bags lying around.
How long have we been here as part of the cult now?
I would say it's been a few weeks, so you've had
Oh, so we're
time to
actually
get
fairly
to know a
familiar
few
then.
people. Then, yes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna kind of, because you mentioned some of the other, we'll call them acolytes, were starting to shuffle out. I'm just gonna kind of nod and be like, I'm gonna go over and ask and be like, so that dog, are they expensive? I mean, why did we want a smaller dog? I mean, I know they say size doesn't matter, but I mean, that was a big dog and you've made it smaller? I don't get it.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. The dog didn't get smaller. It was a puppy before. Just
Oh.
a German Shepherd puppy that looks different now. It didn't become smaller.
Ah, fair enough. In that case, I'm like, I recognize the German Shepherd type dog, then we'll go with that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't recognize this new type of dog. You said it lost a lot of its fur and it molted stuff off. I'm like,
Yeah.
is the fur worth something?
Yeah, can we sell this for more? Is what we're trying to get at.
Yeah. The guy that you talk to, who's incidentally also called Guy.
Yay!
That guy.
The guy. He looks at you and with glistening eyes and says, I don't actually know much. He didn't say much. Arnold didn't really get into what this was all about, but apparently, now that Versiopa has touched this creature, it has become bestowed with certain abilities, but I don't quite know what those are. I'm
So
not even sure Arnold knows. If
I interrupt Guy at this point. I'm like, worth more money.
Yeah, definitely worth more money. See, we've got this cult stuff down. We know what this is about. This is smart.
I mean, this is like next level dog grooming services, isn't it?
Yeah, like we could be like this could be our whole new era for domesticated pets.
I'm gonna kind of stand, and obviously we're having this conversation about the dog, so we're just trying to suss out. Okay, so he's either got some fantastic dog grooming abilities, with some new magical chemical concoction, or we've been around. There's definitely magic going on. I've started to notice strange things happen with myself, like this empowered sense of smell. So I want to have a good look around. We've been here for a couple of weeks now. Is there anything in this room that properly stands out as either being just new or different?
You know what? This is the perfect timing for for our campaign's first roll. How about you make a perception check for that?
Okay, so I click on perception, check my Roll20 screen, and it says I rolled a 19 or a 21. So if I had advantage, 21. If I didn't, just a normal 19.
Right. So you've become fairly familiar with this room, even though this kind of ritual was a first. You've been in here before. You've had some ceremonies. You did some chanting. Nothing has changed really. Not on the altar, not next to it, nor anywhere else in the room. It's still everything like it was over the last few weeks, as far as you can remember it.
Is this probably the most cult members that we've had show up to one of these rituals, though?
No, it's usually this well attended. It's usually all of them.
Okay.
Unless someone gets sick, they usually all appear.
Okay, because I'm keeping an eye out for sort of the other cultists, see if there's any faces that I recognise from my past.
Just so I can rewrite this stuff down because I've forgotten. What are your two characters called?
So my one's called Mervyn.
And mine is Solon.
And I've wrote them down so I don't forget now. So Jeff at this point's like, huh, okay. I look at Mervyn. I say, oh, thanks, guy. Appreciate that. Give him like a wink, a turn back. Got Solon and walking back over with Mervyn going, come on, Mervyn. I'm like, so the dog's definitely worth money. It's got powers now, apparently. There's definitely no like chemicals. I take that back from earlier. It's not dog grooming service because there's no tools. This room hasn't changed. I mean, I've been in here, out of here for weeks, and I get my notebook / prayer book out, and I show them my sketches of the room, and I'm like, no, this blatantly not really changed. So Arnold is a wizard.
He's something.
In this moment, you see Arnold approach with the dog in his arms. And actually, I am not a wizard. I never studied the arcane. I just merely am a devout follower of our deity. But you guys, I could use your help.
Ooh.
I've become aware that somewhere in the nearby forest there was a bear spotted. And according to the description, it shares some similarities with this fine creature here. Obviously, the locals are not too happy about something like that, and they already dispatched a hunter to take care of the problem. I would very much like you guys to keep them from achieving their goal. If this is truly a creature blessed by the corrupting touch, we should make sure that it survives for as long as possible.
Jeff is nodding along, going, that sounds good, whilst he reaches over to stroke the dog.
Okay,
right.
so all we need to do is make sure that the hunter doesn't succeed and that the bear is kept safe.
Exactly.
Can we keep the bear and study it?
Well, if you manage to domesticate it somehow or capture it, I would be happy to have the bear here. But seeing as you're, well, not skilled in the handling of animals as far as I know, and also the most people that encounter bears are, well, let's just say they end up minced.
I reckon I can take a bear.
I wouldn't hold it against you if you didn't manage to bring it here. Just make sure it survives. And with that, he turns away and walks out. of the chamber, on his way out, nodding to the cultists.
Okay, so we have to save a bear.
From the woods. So when you go into, Jeff just kind of sits there and goes, "When you go down to the woods tonight, you're gonna save a bear." Wait, that's not how the song. Oh, you know what? It doesn't matter. So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Where are these woods?
Yeah. And also, once we get to the woods, where is the bear?
We both apparently look at Solon.
Solon, can you track a bear?
Don't know. Do I look like a tracker?
Depends what's your survival skill out of character.
I don't think I have survival skills.
Neither do I. It's 0.
Right. One of the questions I can answer you.
Mm-hmm.
The woods he was referring to were most likely to the northeast of the town.
Okay, guys, I have an idea, right? Obviously, we can't track a bear for shit. So, as an alternative idea, instead of trying to
Wait.
find the bear, what if we try to find the hunter?
Solon can talk with snakes. Good
Can
point.
the snakes track a bear?
Okay, can you track a snake?
You track the snake, snake tracks the bear. Problem solved.
God. Why am I just picturing Solon and Jeff and Marvin just like following a snake through the woods?
Because that's exactly what the plan is. Are you saying you're not 100% on board with this?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay.
This
Does
is
this
gonna be
wood have
great.
any snakes? Like even like a slow worm would do, I reckon.
Before we start heading out to try and find a snake. So Jeff only recently arrived in town via carriage. We remember this. It was good. So Jeff's like, I got here. We've kind of been here. I've been down here for a couple of weeks. I've only gone outside a few times. I don't really know the area. Can anyone, like, and there's still a few acolytes around at this point, I'm hoping. I'm like, can anyone actually give me a map or just a general understanding of the area around where we are? At which point I'll lean over to Mervyn. I'm like, Mervyn, what's the name of the town we're in?
Mervyn does not have a notebook. Mervyn should know this, though.
I guess Mervyn would actually remember this town, as he's been here a few times already. It's Cliffside.
Cliffside, thank you. Just going to open up the intro document so that I can keep this information on hand.
Right, Cliffside, cool.
Conveniently located at the top of a cliff.
Do I actually have...
Is this like big island cliffs, or a cliff over the sea, or is this just a cliff over some woods? Or
No, over the sea it was.
Yeah, it's over the sea.
I remember this much information now.
Yes,
Okay.
Cliffside is a port town.
Which is why I would know it.
Exactly.
Okay, but yeah, no, I think Juno's got the right idea though with getting hold of the map. Are any of the other cultists from the area who would actually know how we get a hold of a map?
I'd ask.
Because this is like cult business, like we can just sort of requisition stuff from them, or at least say we're requisitioning from them and just steal it.
As you kind of talk to one another, Esther, a half-elven woman, walks past you guys, and you know if there's anything that the cult has that you could borrow, she would know about it.
Esther, can we
Yes,
can we ask you something?
of course.
Do we have a map of the local area? We've been asked by Arnold to go and protect one of Versiopa's creations, but it's a wild animal, so we need some help in being able to track it down, and a map would be excellent.
I'm certain we have something like that. It would be a very crude one, but I'll see what I can find. Just give me a few minutes. I'll get back to you. And with that,
Thank you.
she walks off.
See, even if it's a crude map plus tracking snakes, I feel like is going to be a winning combination here.
Yes.
Also, conscious that like Arnold's last words to the congregation were to actually get some rest.
Yes.
Like I'm guessing it's actually quite late in the day where we are now.
It is, yes.
Okay, so it might be that we get. Well, actually, do we want to try and head out at night to get a head start on the hunter?
The hunter has already been dispatched.
Yeah.
We want to go out immediately, probably then.
Jeff, are you up for a nighttime romp through the woods? It'll be glorious.
Yeah. I mean, but I suppose I did buy this cloak. It's got a hood. I've got some torches and some candles.
Oh yeah, you've got human eyes, so you can't see in the dark. Sorry,
Wait.
Jeff, I forget.
You can see in the dark.
I can.
What do you mean you can't?
But you always make me light the candles.
I know, because you have human eyes and you can't see in the dark, and it's not fair on you.
But all of those times I've like hit my shin and knees and elbows, you could have just.
I don't always remember that you have human eyes, Jeff. Do you always remember that I have half-elf eyes?
You're a half elf? I
Yeah.
just thought you had pointy ears.
No. My. I think it was my dad was supposed to have been an elf. But yeah, no, I can see in the dark, Jeff.
Oh.
I can't believe this has never come up before. It's been 2 weeks. I'm
no.
really sorry. I feel like I should have been more clear about this from the get-go. I will attempt to do better, Jeff.
It's fine. It's not like I was paying for the candles anyway. Esther gave me them in a box.
Okay.
I mean, if we want to go out, you're in front then, because I.
Right, elf eyes out front. Great.
At that point, Jeff's like mumbling to himself. He wanders off after Esther, hoping to get hold of a lantern.
Esther, you find Esther right as she exits the door to the quote-unquote storage room. She already has a piece of paper in hand. Oh, Jeff, perfect. I found, yes, a very crude map, but it should show you where about everything is around the town. I hope that will be sufficient.
I'm sure it will be fine because it's just expanded my knowledge of the town by a factor of all of it. Whilst you're there, I don't suppose I can take a lamp because we want to go outside and candles don't do well in the wind. And apparently the Overlap don't need lanterns because they've got human eyes. So a lantern, a lamp, Eva would be good if we have one.
Oh yeah, right. You're a human. Yeah. Sometimes I forget that. Sure. Yes. Just give me a second. We've got a few lanterns in here. And
Wait.
She goes back in. You hear some rustling, and she comes back out and hands you an old-timey lantern. Here, please take care. We don't have that many. I would really appreciate getting this one back.
That's absolutely fine. And I check to see if it's got oil and stuff.
It does have oil.
Perfect. I'm like, brilliant. So I've got a map, I've got a lantern, and I've got the human eyes. And I wander back to the group.
I feel like I may have started something and I regret.
No, don't regret anything about this.
It's not your fault that humans need help to see things. Like, they're just born that way. They can't help it.
You can do other cool things, Jeff.
I'll just walk back to Melvin going, you can do other cool things. Mervyn going, you can do other cool things. I'm like, okay.
Like, you
Solon
can
has
smell
no
really
clue
good.
what
I can't
those-
smell really good.
Fair enough. Jeff has a big grin. I can smell better than you.
Okay, so we've got a map. We've got things for Jeff's human eyes. We've got we've got an idea that it's in these particular woods that we need to go to. And you said the map covers the town and the surrounding area, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. So, thinking more on it, do we want to track the bear, or or do we want to track the hunter?
I mean, either way, we're going to need to track it. And to track it, we need to be at the woods. And that's as far as I've got.
But what if the townspeople gave the hunter some tips on where to find the bear that we don't have, and the hunter gets there first?
Oh, that's actually a good point. Arnold said that they had to send out a hunter, which means it's been spotted somewhere. So we just need to go ask the same people.
Also, out of character, I just checked. My character has an intelligence score of 12. I need to roleplay this better.
A 12 is fine. Standard human is 10.
Oh, okay. No, I feel pretty good then.
So, yeah, you're not dumb. Just for
Sorry,
reference,
I'm used to
though,
wizards with like 20.
Cliffside has about 4,000 inhabitants.
And late in the evening, they're all going to be at taverns. And as we all know, every good adventure has to start at a tavern.
Where we drink for information.
I specifically did not start you off in a tavern. No.
Step one of
I know
our
you tried, Millie.
Step one of our dastardly plan to derail Millie. Go to the tavern.
How to derail a DM? Talk to everybody.
All right, okay. So we've got a map. Arnold has told us the bear's in the woods, which is just northeast. The map has like a cross on it that says woods, possibly actually named something more impressive. So I'm like, well, if the hunter had to leave, does the map maybe have any paths or roads that lead into the woods, or is it just a bit more generic?
It is a very generic map. It shows you basically the location of the city with, as a blob with, well, some markings for important things like the churches and the town hall and the harbor. To the east and northeast, there's a little bit of fields, a little bit of farming area, and then the woods immediately begin. To the north and western side, there's like there's just more open fields, and you know that some of those paths lead to some mines that aren't too far away.
Okay,
Well-
more sensible suggestion than going by a local tavern for not plot-related reasons. We could actually just ask the town guard on the way out, because the town guard would be more likely to know about local bear attacks. And since we're going to be leaving the town anyway to go to the woods, we might just snag one on the way.
Does any one of us have high enough charm to convince the town guard that we're actually there to kill the bear?
Quite possibly.
Ooh, I am pretty fucking charming. I've got like a 7 in persuasion. That is a genius idea, Skiggy Dancer. But yeah, guys, you may as well call off this hunter. We've got this now.
Maybe we can talk down the hunter as well as the guards.
Ooh. Okay. I
It
think we've
sounds
got
like
a
a
game
plan.
plan, folks.
So we're gonna head out of town, but first I'm gonna go put on the lovely gear and stuff that the Arnold and the cult have given me, and pack up my bag and stuff. So I don't know what these two are up to, but when we meet up outside, I'm like stood there in my 6-foot glory with my shield on my back. My chainmail is dangling nicely. I've got a warhammer just kind of leaning against the wall next to me in this big backpack just on. And it's worth just kind of noting Jeff he's human, but he has a strength of 18.
He's buff.
He
Buff
is.
human.
Yeah, it is understandable why people maybe thought he beat up heroes
Yeah.
and got caught robbing a bank because he's not exactly small and supple.
All right. Anything the other two would like to prepare before their departure?
I'd like to make sure I'm wearing my leather armor, but I'm sort of going to try and dress much less conspicuously. I've just got common clothes.
All right.
Can we get some really strong booze in case we need to drink the hunter down if we can manage to get him from killing the bear in the first place?
I mean, I'm really good at drinking games, guys.
Yeah, no.
Sailor
I am
background.
good at drinking games. Go sit
That
over
sounds
there.
like a challenge.
I have poison immunity.
Ah, true. Yeah, but do we really want to be carting casks of booze through the woods?
Good point.
I feel like that's just going to hamper our progress. I
I should
like the
probably prepare my
idea.
spells.
Great idea for another time when we have more ready access to strong alcohol.
I should probably do something about my spells then.
Okay, have you picked your spells for the day actually?
Yeah.
Because there's some good standard ones like Bane, Bless, Cure Wounds.
All
I
right.
don't know
Yeah,
how good Shield of Faith is.
Mm.
All right. As you all gather your things and meet outside of the cellar that you were hiding in, basically,
Mm-hmm.
a clear night awaits you with some beautiful stars twinkling over your heads and a fresh sea breeze greeting you.
Ah, smell that? That's the smell of adventure.
Smells like the sea to me.
Yeah, that's what adventure smells like. The sea. You've not been a sailor, Jeff. You don't understand. One day I will take you out on a boat and you will get it, and it will be an eye-opening experience, and we will have a great time.
No, I'm not going there. It's fine. I'm not going to turn that into a joke about you taking me out on a boat. So, town that way. I'm like, Solon, shall we?
Lead the way, folks. Oh wait, no, I need to go first because I have the elf eyes.
It's a clear sky. We're in the town. It's going to be fine. I can see to the gates.
Ah, but can you? No, I'm gonna stop. I'm just gonna piss him off at this point.
No, we need to make sure that he can see. We're not sure if it's bright enough yet.
All right. As you walk towards the town's exit, are you still trying to get hold of one of the guardsmen?
If they're nearby, we don't want to go massively out of our way because it's going to take forever if we have to go hunting for them.
Well, seeing as you do have to walk down the main street, that you will come across two town's guard just casually patrolling the street at night.
Right, I'll flag them and say, "Hail, guardsmen! We're just heading out to the woods. We have heard that there have been bear attacks. Do you have any idea where those have been taking place so that we can find and/or avoid that area?"
Oh, yes, of course. But let me first say, are you sure you want to go out at night like that? You know
Oh
that.
no, we'll be fine. Like, we've got elf eyes.
Oh no,
Oh,
it's
I see.
perfect. We have the mighty Jeff with us.
Just
I
point
mean, you've
at
heard
Jeff.
of Jeff, right?
Got a shield, a warhammer, chainmail,
And
huge guy.
the two guardsmen look you up and down for a little. One of them raises an eyebrow. The other one nods approvingly.
I indirectly do an intimidation.
All right, I see. Yes, the bear attacks. Just if you head out of the town for about half an hour and then turn right in between two fields and follow that little footpath. Once you reach the once you reach the forest area, that's where the bear has been spotted. So I would suggest you avoid that. But safe travels. Is
Well, thank you very much.
there anything else?
We heard that there was a hunter sent out to go and deal with it. So I don't know if that's been done yet. I mean, are they already set off?
Terribly sorry. I don't know if they have already been sent on their way.
Okay, that's fine. Well, we need to get going anyway because we're in a rush.
All right.
Local business and all that. But thank you very much for your help.
Yes, always happy to. Have a good night.
Right. Shall we proceed to the forest?
Yes.
All right.
Forest, yes.
Right, so you walk out of the town following the main road to the north, and after about half an hour, you can clearly see there's a divide between two fields. Must be two different farmers responsible for those. With a small footpath. You turn that way and follow it for another about 15 to 20 minutes until you arrive at the edge of the forest. Just a really nice looking forest actually during the day. It's a very nice place to just relax. And usually quite calm and peaceful actually.
Mm. You say usually. What's not calm and peaceful about it now?
Well, you know that there's been a bear.
So it's the sense of impending dread. I see.
Yes.
Still reckon we can take a bear.
I mean, I'd imagine there's normally bears in the woods. That's why there's a song about bears in the woods. Jim kind of just shrugs. He's like, bears in the woods. Fair enough.
I feel like we're just trying to psych ourselves up to go into woods that don't just have like potentially bears, but confirmed bears. Like there's a big difference, folks, between potentially bears and confirmed actual bears.
I mean, a bear's not. A bear's normally nocturnal. Do I know this?
You can make a nature check.
17.
17. Bears are actually not nocturnal animals. They do
Okay.
sleep at night.
So bear is likely to be asleep. We are probably safe, folks.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said it. I mean, it's bear in the woods, but it's probably asleep. I mean, I'd assume a bear sleeps in a cave. I have a look at the map and I'm like, does it look like there might be any caves in these woods?
There
it just looks like a lot of trees to me.
Yeah, there's just a lot of trees. On your map, there is nothing marked as if there were a cave or even a mountain or hill. It just from your map, it just looks like a flat forest.
Okay.
I guess all we can potentially do is walk, follow this path as best we can, keep our eye open for any tracks leading off it or snakes.
Yes. So we're looking for bear tracks, hunter tracks, or snakes.
There's not gonna be snakes in the night.
A snake's also not nocturnal.
Mm-hmm.
What if it's a night snake?
Is there night snakes?
I have no idea.
There
There's
are
a night-
nocturnally hunting snakes, but they're predominantly in deserts.
That would explain it because it would be cooler. Fair enough.
Okay. Well, let's go down to the woods then and try and make our way through and just keep an eye out for any signs that we can see. You never know, the hunter might come to us and be like, "Guys, what the fuck are you doing? You're messing up my hunting." So I'm torn
Yeah.
between saying like, do we keep really quiet or do we make as much noise as possible?
Well, either way, this is barely gonna be dangerous.
Right, well, I was going to say Jeff keeps his eyes open whilst we're wandering the path looking for tracks and stuff, not expecting to actually contribute at all, apart from I just rolled a 20.
Yeah,
Okay.
just-
Okay. In this case, whoever wants to look at stuff, considering you're carrying a lantern with you, you don't have to roll with disadvantage on that if Jeff wants to. So everyone that wants to be on the lookout, please make a perception check.
Okay, perception, not survival. Okay.
Oh, well.
Don't mind me as I try to figure out how to make rolls.
So you've got to get onto your character sheet and mouse over the skill in question, and it'll turn red, and you can click it.
Cool.
Jeff is doing his best to champion human eyes. But apparently, having a lantern and walking up a path, it's apparently really easy to spot stuff, especially with it being a clear night. So I'm assuming at some point I'm wandering along and something hopefully catches my eye with my roll of 20.
Well, Jeff got
Okay.
20. I only got 19, so you're doing well.
I got 16.
Actually, you got 5.
Okay, I got 5.
You're the
I'm
naturally rolling with advantage.
I'm reading the wrong number then. Great.
Yeah, it's a weird setting in Roll20. It always rolls as though you've got advantage where you'd roll twice and pick the highest. But I don't know what the house rule is, Millie.
Oh
but I've
yeah,
always seen
I
it as-
forgot to activate that on your sheets. I'll do that later. For now, if you don't have advantage, just take the left number.
Okay. Yep.
It reminds me. Do you want to ding me the link and make me a sheet, and I'll port stuff in? Because then I don't have to copy and paste from mine.
Actually, the link should be in this group. I cannot send you an invitation link right now because
No
I'm
worries.
in
I'll
the game
go
as well.
find it. Don't worry.
But it should be somewhere in there. I'll create a character sheet in the meanwhile. So, apparently, Jeff's human eyes are actually quite good when being helped by a lantern, that is. So, as you start walking through the woods, not only do you manage to spot the footprints of two people, you also manage to just yank Solon back as she is about to step into a bear trap that someone has placed.
Oh.
Damn.
Solon, ooh, careful. I mean, I look at Solon and I look at this giant silver, metal bear trap, because bear traps are huge. And I'm like, I thought you didn't have human eyes. Huh?
Okay.
I was looking for snakes.
Yeah, snakes are different to bear traps. The thought goes through my head, though, guys. Right, we're also supposed to be keeping the bear safe, so we should actually keep an eye out for these and disable
yeah.
these bear traps. Can we grab just like a heavy stick and jam it into the bear trap to set it off?
Can we keep the bear trap afterwards?
Well, I guess you can certainly try that.
Okay, first thing, we need a stick, because I could use my spear, but then I will get like 8 inches chopped off my spear, and I like this spear.
All right, easy enough.
I
You're
have.
in the middle of a forest. There's a lot of branches and also stones lying around. You can easily pick one of those up and trigger the bear trap if you wish.
I would like to trigger the bear trap with a stick,
All right.
and then we can pick it up. And Solon, this was your idea, so you can carry it.
With a loud and metallic clang, the bear trap triggers, snapping the branch in half, and the bear trap is now deactivated and can be carried. Yes, it's what's the weight of a bear trap? About four. I would imagine something along the 20 to 30 pounds.
It depends
I
on how
don't know.
old it is, actually.
You're
Like,
probably talking like a raw iron bear trap, so I'm betting somewhere between 2 and 4 kilos. I don't know what
2
that
and
is in
4
imperial measurements.
Oh, I was highly about that. That 2 and 4 kilos. Oh, that's 4 to 8 pounds, give or take. So yeah, in that case, you can pick it up and carry it with you.
we should at least place it somewhere less obvious in case they want to rearm it later. Someone finds it disarmed.
We'll hang on to it for now.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure. Solon can carry one bear trap.
Okay.
That way Solon is somewhat almost useful.
Look, you'll see. You've got actual wisdom score. You have no idea how useful that gets. Okay, but
Right.
if we're going to be proceeding through the forest, and now we know that there are bear traps, we need to be really careful, because if we get caught in one of those, it's going to hurt a lot.
Right. Yes. Now that you have found the tracks, I would like someone to make a survival check in order to actually follow them. And
One survival check coming up. Ah.
I'm just recreating my character.
Right.
I will roll in my other one, seeing as I looked at it. Maybe I can point us in the right direction.
Yeah, I have no idea what this bear seems to be.
Should I also run
rolled a
survival?
5.
Yeah, I would say so. If we all roll it, one of us is going to do a fair job.
I rolled 17.
All right.
There we go.
Right.
This is where Jeff comes in with a natural 20.
No, I rolled a 5.
Ah, okay. See, Skeeky Dance, I told you a good wisdom score was excellent.
Perception is
Right.
also wisdom.
Yep.
Yes.
All the important stuff.
So, very confidently, and to her own surprise, actually, Solon manages to fairly easily follow the tracks. It's as if those people hadn't anticipated being followed.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, you're not expecting to be followed when you're going on a bear hunt.
The hunter becomes the hunted.
Yes, indeed. So,
Okay, do we find more bear traps? Or was it just, was that the only one that we come across?
well, you can certainly make another perception check for me if you want to find another bear trap.
If we don't find them now, we're going to have to come back and find them all later.
Right.
17.
17. Yes, actually, you do find another one.
Second verse, same as the first. Jab it with a stick.
All right. Clang, and it's disarmed.
Okay, I'll volunteer to carry this one, because Solon's already carrying one.
Question, can we break them instead of carrying all of them? Like, is there a pin or something we can pull out to, like, just disable them completely?
Yeah, because the pins are going to be a lot easier to carry than whole bear traps.
And harder to replace
Mm.
in the long run.
Well, does any of you have any sort of tools with them?
Oh, I've got navigator's tools. Don't think that's going to work.
No, I don't think so either.
I have a warhammer.
Ah,
Can try and smash it.
What do you roll to smash a bear trap with a warhammer?
You would roll an attack.
Great.
okay.
13.
13.
Stationary objects have like an AC of 10, right? Or is it lower than that and 5?
Well, it's full iron, so let me just check the AC of a iron substance.
I feel like we're going in a dumb direction now.
You said you got a 13, you said?
Yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah. Somehow you don't manage to hit the bear trap just right, and your warhammer just glances off. It turns out iron and steel have an AC of 19.
Oh, jeez.
Oof.
Oh yeah, I see Solon try this. I'm like, I think I might better do this. I shrug my shield back on my back. I hook the lantern. I get my warhammer. I walk over. Big two-handed grip. It's a bit dark now, so I'm hopeful, but we're gonna give it a try. Smack it down for 19.
Well, that's exactly the AC, so what's the damage?
For 13.
Wait, what?
13 damage.
Wait,
Yeah,
no,
Jeff
wait.
hits hard.
I was just surprised at the amount, but yes, Warhammer with your strength score, actually, that's not even max damage, is it?
Nope.
It's
Max.
It's 14.
Max damage is 14.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. No issue whatsoever. You bring your Warhammer down on the bear trap, and with a loud shattering sound, it just breaks apart and pieces are bent out of shape. Yeah, you've certainly taken care of that problem.
There we go. Now we
that's-
only need to carry one bear trap if we can't break it.
Stand up, put my warhammer back over one thing. I look at Solon and Marvin. I'm like, I give him a wink.
I actually want to keep one of the bear traps now.
Yeah,
What?
I kind of want to do that too, because if you know how to arm them, we can actually use them for traps later.
I just heard the hammer coming down. I heard the dice roll. What did you roll, Jeff?
Charisma for the wink.
For my wink and
Oh my
big smile. I just showed off. That's what it was. Put a bit of charismatic charm into my smashing of this thing that Solon didn't manage to do.
Why do you have an 18 in charisma, Jeff?
So, all right, that was just a wink. Yes, it is a very charismatic wink. And you winked at Solon, right?
And Marvin, yeah.
And you both feel a little moved. But he's still holding the hammer high up in the air, so you can still decide to keep the trap.
Okay, I'm gonna just sort of look dead ahead and nod at these two because this is getting mildly uncomfortable for me. So I'm going, look, guys, let's bears. Yes, we're tracking bears. Come on, focus now.
I'm not sure what the winking about it is. But like,
Jeff's just like, but I just smashed it up real good. Not even a high five or oh god, this is about the eyes again, isn't it?
It's okay, Jeff.
they're
You did great.
human.
Fine.
Yes, as she says that, you can clearly see her eyes being two vertical slits.
Okay.
Fine. I'll just smash more traps. Although you said you wanted to keep these, or
But yeah, we've only got one more and I want to keep it.
okay. I won't smash that one as well then.
At least not yet. We may smash it later.
No more smashing for now.
Fine.
Okay. So what do we catch up with first, realistically? Do we catch up with the bear? Do we catch up with the hunters? Or does something else happen to us along the way?
Well, that is an interesting question, isn't it? So, as you continue your travels, with no more bear traps in sight, by the way, won't have you roll any for every 50 meters. The tracks, Solon, you feel like the tracks are getting fresher and fresher by the minute. So you know you're getting close to your target. The question now is, how do you want to approach them? Because as it stands, you're just walking down into the forest with a lantern lit.
Sorry, I'm just picturing the hunters seeing us come with a lantern and a bear trap.
If you continue
Great.
like this, it is very likely that a scenario that could happen.
I mean, the way I see it is the hunter's going to see, a couple of relatively decently armed individuals carrying a bear traps into the wood where there's a known bear. Surely he or she are going to think we're just another group of hunters out for the bear.
Hey guys, we came to catch this bear. In fact, we can do such a good job of catching the bear that you may as well go home and
Exactly.
never again. I like that as a plan. Solon, do you reckon we can bluff that we're bear hunters?
Well, if not, we can probably get close enough to just stab them if it fails.
See, that was my backup plan, but I didn't want to say it and look like the bad guy in front of you guys. But I'm glad we're all on the same page here. Jeff, we can just take them if it comes to it, right?
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Like it's only if they force our hand, because we need these guys to not kill this bear, and they're gonna kill the bear.
What did the bear do to them? Like, how mean?
It's less about that and more that it's just what they're paid to do. Like I can respect someone who's a professional doing a job.
Mm.
Right. Guess we're carrying on.
Yeah, 0 stealth on this one.
All
Stealth
right.
doesn't operate. If we're sneaking, they're going to get suspicious, and if we're sneaking, the bear won't notice us and might not have chance to run away. We can kill so many birds with this one very unstealthy stone.
Well, it's certainly unconventional. I give you that. You're not like the other adventurers.
You haven't seen the parties I've run, Millie. Like the horrendous stuff I've seen them pull off. This is years of sort of pent up frustration coming out.
If push comes to shove, we have the same Jeff with us.
Yes,
Oh.
we've got Jeff. We've got our secret weapon.
Jeff the Great Bank Robber.
Mm-hmm.
Defeater of mighty heroes.
Yep.
Follower of strange men into darkly lit cellars.
Okay.
A
So
ballad that will be
unstealthily
sung
approaching the
for
hunters.
centuries. All right. So you just decide to continue as is. And sure enough, after about another half hour of travel, you can clearly see the silhouette of 2 people standing upright, looking into your direction. And as you approach, one of them, a man in his 40s, steps forward and looks at you with bewildered eyes. What are you doing here?
We're hunting the bear. We heard there was a bear.
Yeah, well, you are aware there's a big, nasty bear in the woods, right?
I mean, you guys really shouldn't be out here. Like, you could get attacked by the bear.
We're aware of the bear.
What do they look like? What are they wearing?
Yeah, the man that stands inside the light of the lantern is appears to be human, in his 40s, short brown hair with a bald patch on top.
Mm-hmm.
He's wearing dark clothes, a leather armor, and he's got a sword at his side and a long bow on his back.
Ah, deer hunters.
No,
See, hunting deer, mate, it's a lot different from hunting bears.
No, we've actually been paid to hunt the bear. Well, I've been paid. My daughter helps.
Okay. Because I mean, like this is a bear. Like, have you ever actually hunted a bear before, though? Because you don't look like you've hunted a bear before.
Yes, we have actually.
So you know how much trouble bears can be, and like you may as well take the money and just leave it to us. Like we can just hunt this bear for you. We just want its pelt. Do you know how warm bear pelts are?
I am very aware of how warm bear pelts are, and that's why I would like to have all that stuff for myself, because we've been paid to hunt this creature, and we were told to keep the stuff. So I like to actually
Excuse me,
do
I would
that.
just like to examine the body.
You
Oh
what?
yeah, we've got an academic with us as well.
Hobbyist.
Well, how nice.
Obvious.
But seeing as you how you approached us today, I would highly doubt that you guys accompanying us would be much help for our hunt.
So
So
if
if-
we split up, we can hunt it separately, and then when we get the bear, we'll what? You'll buy the pelt from us?
Why should I buy the pelt if I've already been promised to get it?
But did the person who promised you the pelt own the bear? Because realistically, the bear owns the pelt at this point, and
Yes,
then
but if the bear dies, it won't matter anymore, won't it?
yeah, because then I'll have the pelt, and then you'll have to buy it from me. Because I'll own the pelt because I killed the bear, or we killed the bear. Jeff here might actually own the pelt because he might. I mean, have you seen? You've heard of Jeff, right?
And as you say that, he glances at Jeff, looks at him suspiciously, and then slowly takes a step away and puts a hand on his sword. I have indeed. What brings Jeff here?
Well, like we said, we're after a bear.
I'm just smiling whilst they're standing up really tall. Apparently, it's super effective.
Oh my god, you actually rolled a natural 20 for intimidation.
I thought it was a good time to, puff my chest out, flex my muscles, hold my warhammer over my shoulder.
To be fair, that's 100% legit. Like these two people seem to be under the impression they can take us, and then they've spotted Jeff with a natural 20 on intimidation. Do they still think they can take us?
Well, you know what? Make a perception check real quick.
Yay, a skill that I actually have.
I'm not really paying attention at the moment. I'm making sure to flex my muscles just so.
I got a 15.
Yeah, you can see it's a chilly night. Because, there's not a single cloud in sight, so it's been cooling all night long. But strangely enough, there are a few sweat beads on the forehead of the hunter.
Look, I can see that you guys really I can respect this. You guys are professionals. You've been paid to do a job, and you intend to do it. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with the job of the bear being taken down being done. But I don't know what it's like where you come from. But legally, what claim do you actually have to the pelt of that bear at this point in time? If you kill it first, fair game. You get your bear pelt. And you get all that. That's I have no problem with that. But I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to stop us from also hunting this bear?
Well,
that's not very sporting, is it?
You were asking about a claim, and he reaches into his cloak and pulls out a piece of parchment that's rolled up and hands it to you. The task of hunting this creature actually came from Count Alistair Vick himself.
Okay, so I'm reading through the document. I say, well, I mean, I don't say anything in here that says that we're forbidden from hunting the bear. Granted, okay, this I think actually does give you legal claim to the bear's pelt, but that doesn't stop us from actually getting the bear in the first place, does it? So if we get the bear, you get the pelt, you get your money, everyone goes home happy. And you don't have to fight a bear tonight.
Make a persuasion check.
I was waiting for you to say that.
I've been waiting for the past 10 minutes, I get.
23.
23, alright. The man finally takes his hand off his sword hilt, looks at the three of you again. Alright then. Where have you entered the forest?
Jeff, you've got the map. Bring the map. We entered about. So where was it on the map? Point. It wasn't on the map.
I clip my warhammer back to my belt. I get my backpack down. I get the map out. I'm like, right, okay. I got the lantern. I walk over. I'm like, so this is the map. We came out of the town here, and like my big fingers just pointing at it, and I'm like, and we came into the woods here, and we followed the tracks up this way. We planted some bear traps around this area. So I think we're about here.
So he looks at the map and nods along with your explanation. All right. How about my daughter and I go back to where you guys entered the forest?
Mm-hmm.
You take care of the bear, because for some reason you're so adamant about it. After you're done,
bragging rights mostly, I've got to be honest.
You come back, tell us where it is, we go in and claim the body. And
I mean, that sounds
while,
like an even better deal, because then we don't have to go through the process of skinning the bear for a pelt that we don't get to keep.
All the while he's talking, he's not taking his eyes off Jeff.
Jeff. I mean, that sounds agreeable to me. What about you guys? Do you think that sounds agreeable to you folks?
I mean, I thought...
Shh, Jeff.
I kind of thought Solon wanted everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good point. Can Solon help you with sort of just like participate at the depelting of the bear for academic purposes, not interference, right, Solon?
Yeah, academic purposes.
Well, if you wish to do so, I see no issue with that. Sure.
Excellent. So we have a deal. I stick my hand out invitingly as I can.
You're strange, but I guess it's a deal. And he shakes your hand.
Excellent. Well, you guys go have a nice time, catch some local game, rest, and we shall be back out either with a bear pelt for you, or more likely just the location of a bear pelt for you.
All right then. And he turns around and gives the other figure a hand signal, and they approach. And he says, "Look, for some reason, these guys desperately want to hunt the bear. They don't want to claim it, they just want to kill it. So we'll just let them do it. They'll tell us where the body is later on. Just get out of this forest for now." And with that, they start to walk back where you guys came from.
Okay, I wait until they are properly gone.
Yeah.
And then I say to the others, guys, we have a new problem. We now need to find 2 bears.
Jeff just kind of looks at Mervyn as Mervyn starts to say, we have a problem. We need to find 2 bears. And literally at the same time, Jeff speaks over Mervyn and is like, how are we going to find 2 bears?
Well, like you said, bears live in the woods. Like, there's going to be more bears.
Not really.
We have an even bigger problem. So this bear is supposedly like a dog. How are we gonna find a bear that looks like it's not a regular bear? And a regular bear that isn't a regular bear anymore?
I don't really want to kill a normal bear, let alone an irregular bear.
Jeff, we're in too deep now for this. Like we've got to. Like, if we don't kill like a regular bear, what do you think those guys are going to do to us?
Nothing. They were small and scared. Obviously, that's why they went away.
Okay, problem for later. First problem, right? We have to find a bear. We haven't even found one bear yet, and we're talking about finding 2 bears. Let's realistically just find the first bear, and that will be problem 1 solved.
We need to find a mutant bear first, probably, and then we need to find something that we can make look like a mutant bear.
Yes. So what I'm thinking is we've got some tracks that we are pretty convinced are a bear because they were following the tracks and they were pretty convinced that they were a bear, and they are professional bear hunters, apparently. So we follow these tracks, and either we A, find the bear that we're supposed to not let them kill, or B, find a bear that we can make look like the bear that they were supposed to kill. But either way, one of our 2 bear-related problems is solved.
So this is going to be bearable then.
That is exactly the way that I would choose to put that.
All right.
Come on then, folks. Solon, Jeff, let's go find a bear of mystery type thing.
Just sighs to myself. Quickly gets my notebook, which is actually a prayer book, out, and writes in it. Went to find a bear. Now need 2 bears. Why? Draws like the face of a bear, closes the book, holds up the lantern. Okay, let's go then.
Is this going about as well as you'd hope, Millie? Like, I can see your face, you can't see mine.
I'm still processing what just happened. It was certainly not how I expected it to go, but that actually is what I expect of D&D.
If you didn't come in expecting that you've not played enough D&D yet, we'll fix that.
I say we still sell Jeff to the hunter for stronger generations of the future as a distraction.
I feel like this is a good moment.
To Mervyn.
I feel like this is a good moment as we're close to the halfway point anyway. Let's take a short break for about 10 minutes. And yes, please, guys, stick around. I'm pretty happy I called it Shenanigans, because if this is any indication, that's gonna be a theme, so... see you in a few minutes.
Okay.
Alright, welcome back everybody. We're back from our break. Next time I'll try to get some music playing, but for now, I hope you enjoyed the eerie silence. Well, now, you guys have gotten yourself into a little bit of a situation. How would you like to address that? Oh. Can you just repeat that, because I did not unmute my desktop audio, just that one sentence.
I said, I think that our first challenge that we can address is to find bear number 1.
Agreed.
So we've gone from having to find and protect one bear to having to still do that, but then also find and kill and mutilate another bear. I can't really claim that I've made anything better, can I?
I mean, what we could technically do is find the one bear and escort it away.
Oh. Millie,
Yeah?
What season is it?
Summer.
Okay.
We're fucked.
Well, no, I was more thinking, like, if it was mating season, we could use bear number 1 to find bear number 2, but I don't think bears mate in the summer.
It would also be a roll of the dice if you got the right configuration of bears.
Yes. I don't know, like, regular bear may be able to find mutant bear as well. It could work both directions.
It's not fussy.
Wait, do the townspeople know that this is a mutant bear? Or can we just find any bear and claim this is the bear?
You are pretty sure that the town, or at least a few people, know that it's not a regular bear. Otherwise, Arnold would probably not have been interested.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I feel like we should have
damn.
asked more specific questions about what it looked like, because if we find the regular bear, we can mess it up all we like, but we don't know if we're going to do it in the right way that the hunter believes that we found the correct bear. I was thinking we could just slap a lot of mud and leaves on it and leave it down to, oh yeah, townspeople are idiots. They probably thought this was some crazy mutant bear. It's just really filthy.
What if we mutilated to hell and back so that you can't tell what kind of bear it was before we killed it? Oh yeah, it just struggled a lot, so it kind of ended up like this. Oops. Sorry
the bear's
about the
dead.
pels.
You didn't specify the condition of it afterwards. Although, to be fair, we actually have appropriate weapons for getting animal pelts. Like, this is something that I actually have my own sort of pet theory. So, the hunter had a sword, right? Slashing
Yes.
weapon is the last thing you want when hunting an animal that you want its pelt from, because you're just going to slash up the pelt. We have warhammers. Those won't damage the pelt, they just damage the bones underneath, which, let's be fair, the hunter didn't care about anyway. Oh, maybe he does want the bones. Well, we'll magic it to death. We'll figure something out, guys. Like, first, let's not get too many problems on our plate. We need to find a bear first.
No,
So-
we need to intentionally mutilate it so that they can't say that it isn't a mutant bear.
But Solon, we can't intentionally mutilate a bear that we don't have. At this point, we have 0 bears.
Jeff,
And like, I keep wanting to say daylight is burning, but it's not, because it's nighttime.
it's at this point the group have realised that Jeff's pulled out a blanket and he's laid it down on the grass and he's just sat whilst Mervyn and Solon have this big debate about whether we want 1 bear or 2 bears, whether they're going to do mating.
Okay,
Pulls out a ration
Jeff,
bar.
Get it. We need to get a move on.
I'm eating
Let's
now.
track this bear. Oh, wait, no. Jeff's got a genius idea. Jeff, that's brilliant. What if we wait for the bear to come to us?
I'm just sat with a ration in my mouth on my blanket going, huh?
That's it, because the bear will smell the food and come to us. We need to kill the thing that... Okay, so we need to find 3 things now. Or 2 things, because one of the things that we need to find is going to come and find us. We need to find bear bait. What will bait a bear? Millie's face is just like, this is getting so much worse.
It's brilliant. Keep going.
So I've got my ration, and I reach into my backpack and I pull out a stick of incense, and I'm like, I don't know what bear bait is, but I've got some rations, some incense, and
Does the incense smell like meat?
I don't think so.
Actually, I've just thought the bear's going to be asleep, so it won't be able to pick up on scent. Guys, we need to just track this bear. Let's go track this bear. I am 100% on board with tracking this bear.
I quickly take a few quick big bites of this ration. It sounds like a good idea, but can we? Okay. Sorry. What? We're fine. Jeff starts putting his impromptu picnic away.
How smart are bears? Like, can we have Jeff standing in the middle of the area, eating his ration, going, "Oh no, I hope there isn't any bears there to steal my food."
Put it this way. I read a story about bears in America where they had to basically accept that the bears are going to get into the bins, because when they make the bins bear proof, it turns out Americans can't get into the bin either.
I feel like it was
if I
something.
recall, the exact saying was that there's a significant overlap between the dumbest humans and the smartest bears.
Yeah, I remember that.
So we should just treat the bears like they're humans.
Dumb humans, but yes.
Cool.
Not that we have anything against humans, Jeff.
I didn't think we did. I get like it's at this point. Jeff is obviously sharing this random bit of knowledge, but maybe replacing America with Neverwinter and something. Fine, it's fine. I get it. I'm perfectly capable of getting into the bins with the the clip-on lids. It's not that difficult. You unclip it, open the bin. But
Thinking of like specific Jeff things though, Jeff, you have that really good sense of smell. Maybe when we get close enough, Jeff will be able to smell the bear. But we've got to get close to the bear. And the bear's getting further away the longer we talk about it though. So let's go find this bear.
okay, so Jeff's finished packing up at this point. He's like, right, okay, we're on. I take it we were already following the tracks originally, so we haven't
Well, Solon
lost
was.
the
We couldn't track it
tracks.
to shit.
Yeah.
Question: were we following the hunters or the bear tracks?
You actually found the tracks of the hunters.
Okay, yeah, we were not following the bear tracks. We were following the hunters.
Okay, but there
Oh.
should be some bear tracks around here that the hunters were following. We should have asked the hunters where the bear tracks were so that we could follow. No, because then we would have looked incompetent in front of the hunters, and we can't do that. We'll find the bear tracks, guys. We're the best bear hunters that have ever lived.
Yes, we just need to treat the bears like humans.
Okay.
Okay, so if I was a human and I wanted to go to sleep, and the path in the town was that way, I actually turn and look in the opposite direction, hold my lantern up, and start looking for sign of bear tracks away from the town and the path we came from.
All right, make a perception check, please. Right, I actually don't.
Torn between wanting to
Ella,
also
sorry.
make a perception check and just trusting in the awesomeness of Jeff.
I mean, we're tracking a bear that is like a human. So probably trusting.
Yeah, exactly.
Rolled an 11, but let me turn off the setting for the rolling dice. Don't advantage toggle roll queries.
All right, so yes, after some looking around, after some searching, you actually do manage to find some bear tracks, or at least you think they are bear tracks.
That's ominous sounding. You think they're bear tracks.
I'll point, I'm like, see, town that way, path that way, possibly bear tracks this way. I look at Solon and like, Solon, so I've got the light. I'm not admittedly very good at following things unless I can see it. I think I found tracks. Do you want to, do whatever it was you were doing earlier that actually got us here in the first place?
Actually, yeah, because Solon can track the bear. I can see Solon and follow Solon. We can put out the lantern and I can hold Jeff's hand.
No,
Jeff, I promise I won't forget that you only have human eyes.
Just to make it clear, it's not pitch black, even though you're walking through a forest. It's still
just normal, clear night sky. I can still see, just...
Well, night sky in a forest. It's still dark, so your shins are in danger.
See, Jeff, your shins need protecting.
I've got my chainmail on today.
Chainmail shins, I'm sorry. Can we just track the bear?
Solon, if you want to track the bear, please make a survival check and just roll 1d20 for me after that without adding anything.
Question.
Okay.
Did Esther give me just a normal lantern, or was it by any chance a hooded one?
It was, in fact, a hooded lantern. For some reason, most lanterns in the cult's possessions are hooded.
For some reason, that doesn't surprise me, actually. When there
we go. I got a grand total of 14 for my survival and 11 on the d20.
All right.
So while Solon is actually figuring out where to go, Jeff and Mervyn are having a debate about how shiny the light is, whether I need to hold his hand, at which point I just kind of look at Mervyn, smile, and lower the hood so it's just a few feet of light around me.
Now, here's the thing. So the official description of dark vision is that I can see in low light as though it were bright light, and in darkness as though it were low light for a radius.
Yes.
Would I even be able to tell the difference in the light level? Because I don't know what it's like looking through human eyes.
You
So-
would actually notice the change in light level. It does get darker around him.
Okay.
So you see clearly, but I think with dark vision, you actually see in greys. So you
Yeah,
can
I
see
don't have
clearly,
colour
but
vision.
everything's in like
Yeah.
grey. But obviously around my light, it's going to be colourful.
Yes.
Okay, so I can't perceive
around
that.
him, you see normally, and further away from him, it's only grayscale.
Great,
Okay.
so I'm going to be trying to track in grayscale.
You can do that.
Yes.
I
It's
can do
actually
that.
perfect when you think about it, because you're just looking for the impressions. You're not distracted by the different shades of greens and browns and moss coloured and occasional flowers.
Actually got a point there.
This from the man who does not see in dark vision. See, Jeff, there's nothing wrong with having human eyes.
I didn't
You
say there
understand
was.
perfectly.
There's nothing wrong with being human.
Exactly.
I get my notepad out, which again, it's a prayer book, and I start flicking to like some of the sermons and stuff that I've been reading and replying to in the the edges of the columns where it talks about certain things, and there's like a bit of a sermon on vision and the ability that one can be given to be granted the ability to see at night, and it's pretty much a religious description of dark vision. I'm like, see. It's not hard, I can read. I'm not stupid. That's what it is.
Okay, I'm sorry we ever doubted you for a moment, Jeff. Not that we did, but I'm sorry that we made you feel like we doubted you, because that's not true. And let's track this bear.
Jeff nods, puts his notebook / prayer book away. Picks up his big backpack, puts a shield hanging on it. Goes, right, okay, Solon, after you.
All right, as Solon starts tracking or following the imprints that a bear has left in the dirt around you. Yeah, it's a decently long walk until anything changes. Solon, you do realize that once again the imprints are getting more recent. So whatever you're tracking right now, you're pretty certain that you're at least faster.
Cool, we're faster than bears. Good to know.
Right. And as you continue walking for about another hour and a half, at some point in the distance, in between a few trees, that's the word.
Mm-hmm.
You can clearly make out a bulky, four-legged shape slowly lumbering through the woods, and you can also hear a lot of twigs snapping under the weight. And you're fairly certain whatever you
the bear
found
was supposed to be asleep. This is not an asleep bear.
Are we sure it's even a bear?
Well, as you converse amongst each other for a moment, you hear a echoing from where the creature is.
Oh.
I do my Basically, Jeff does his divine sense, which is inversed.
Yes.
He tries the weird sniffing thing.
What's the range on your divine sense?
60 feet.
Sorry, how much?
60 feet.
60 feet. There is no change in smell.
Interesting. So it's neither good or evil. It's not celestial, fiend, or undead.
Okay.
I just kind of know, and I'm like, huh, maybe it is just a bear. And I'll walk up to Mervyn and Solon, like, okay, it's a bear. I don't think it's the bear we're looking for. It doesn't smell particularly different. I think it might just be an actual bear.
I feel like we need to get closer to find out, because that didn't sound like a normal bear. That was... Or at least it didn't sound like a very happy bear. I advise caution at this stage.
What do we want to try and get a bit closer and get a better look at the bear?
Yeah, we
Basically,
can barely.
yes, but with a slight modification. Which one of us is the most sneaky?
Which one of us can actually see in the dark and be sneaky? It's not me. Gives a slight wrinkle of his chain link on.
It's a good answer. What armor are you wearing, actually?
Yes. Leather, I think. No, scale.
Okay.
I'm wearing scale mail. So I am
Okay.
also not stealthy.
I feel like neither of your armor types actually give you disadvantage. I'm not 100% sure, but I think the scale mail doesn't, at least. But I can't. That's something that actually I should double check.
Technically, scale mail is just leather armor with some reinforced metal bits over the kind of key areas. Jeff is purely saying this because he doesn't want to get close to the bear.
Yeah, I can respect that from Jeff.
So just to clarify, we've got one chain.
Stealth scale mail does get disadvantage on.
Yeah, chainmail does get, and
scale mail does. They both get disadvantage.
Yes.
So yeah, both of you are not stealthy. I guess who's the stealth monkey? All right, guys. Here's what I'm thinking: is that I stealthily get closer to the bear and see if it's a regular bear or if it is a bear plus an amended bear, a Versiopa style bear.
What?
I'm trying to figure out if this is the bear that we were sent out here for in the first place, or a bear that we can use for our nefarious purposes for those hunters that we just deceived in a lie that is steadily getting more and more out of hand.
I get that, but how do you know the difference?
I know what bears are supposed to look like, Jeff.
Do you?
I've been around the world.
Oh, we're on a ship. Do you get many bears on ships?
Yes, people sell them. Have you never seen bear baiting before? Don't. It's horrible, but that's a thing.
At this point, Jeff kind of just looks up to the side and like, huh, that makes sense. Oh, okay. Yeah, all yours then.
Like, out of character, like legitimately, the county in the UK where I grew up, its national symbol is about bear baiting. They used to have them shipped overseas to get here. It was actually a really horrible practice. But yeah, no, genuinely a legit thing. Okay, I would like to stealth my way close enough to the bear that I can see it more clearly and figure out if it is just a regular fluffy bear, which is still terrifying, or a Versiopa amended bear.
Well, then, how about you make me a stealth check?
One stealth check. 22.
All right. You make your way stealthily towards the bear, and as you approach it, as you come closer, Even without it being inside your your dark vision range, you can clearly make out the shape of it. And the first thing you realize is there's some protrusions sticking out of its back, like along its spine. It almost looks like spikes coming out of its back. A very large, hooked spikes, for that matter.
See, now, the bears that I used to pirate transport in cages did not have spikes on them. I think this is the amended bear.
This is definitely not a normal
Once I've figured
bear.
that out, I don't want to get any closer.
All right. So
I would, in fact, like to return to my fellow party members and relay the news to them so that we can plan our course of action.
All right, and you do that without issue.
Okay,
Not
guys.
a problem.
So,
I think. Sorry.
No, it's okay. So there is like a slight issue that I've just considered though. So, like, I was expecting it to just be slightly modified. Oh yeah, that's a good point. I can still do that. There we go. But like having like bits of fur having fallen out and yellow eyes, that's something that people can conceivably screw up when they're describing a bear. There's like that could just be a dirty bear or a bear with cataracts, but this one has like big hooked spines. I feel like that's a really defining feature of the bear that we might not be able to modify a regular bear to look like this well enough for people to think that this bear. Guys, I may have made a mistake.
But are we sure it's a bear and not something else that's spiky?
I have an idea. Out of character, do cure spells work on animals, or does it have to be a humanoid target?
Any creature.
Okay.
Unless it's a construct or undead.
Oh no! I think I just realized what he's planning.
Okay, so radical plan, guys. But if we beat the bear and knock it unconscious, right? We can undo the damage later. We can heal the bear afterwards when it's safe. But at this point, we need to protect that bear. And I don't really want to just leave it to wander around because we might never find it again because we only found it in the first place because we found the hunters who were tracking it. So if we knock the bear unconscious and tie it to probably several trees, because I have rope, we can do this. If we knock the bear unconscious, tie it to several trees, make sure that it won't just die while we're gone, it will probably stay either unconscious or at least trapped for long enough that we can go and find a second bear and then address the whole sort of visual matching problem. Your silence is not filling me with confidence, guys. I need something here.
Jeff's just kind of looking at you as if going,
I know this has gotten out of hand and no one can do anything about that, but believe me, no one is more sorry about this situation than I am. But we need two bears, and we don't even really have this one yet.
Well,
There is a very, very simple solution. We kill the hunters.
No, I'm not normally one for kind of the whole killing of people thing. I mean, it's bad enough with the whole heroes and beating them up.
Oh no, it's fine. They're just humans.
But I don't really want to fight a normal bear. I certainly don't want to upset Arnold. Oh, hang on, sorry.
Yeah, Arnold's the cultist leader.
Press buttons. I don't want to upset Arnold, and Esther gave us all of this stuff, and we've got a nice bed and stuff, and I think if Arnold wants the bear to be okay, and I don't want to fight another bear because it's a bear, I'm not a bear hunter,
But you're Jeff.
I'm with Solon on this one. I think we should just deal with the hunters. They're easier.
I mean, they are trying to kill Versiopa's bear, so that kind of makes them bad guys.
They're definitely bad guys.
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely bad guys. They're trying to kill an innocent bear.
An innocent, very, very spiky bear that we don't want to have to fight either.
Yes.
So, a question, Millie. In my prayer book, is there anything in my prayer book about the touched animals or anything?
Well, that highly depends. When did you get that prayer book?
A couple of weeks ago.
Oh, so is it actually like cultist prayer book?
Yeah, is it a cultist prayer book or is it from some other religion?
For this religion.
Oh, so he's a paladin of Versiopa. Okay.
I might be. I don't know. I'm just starting to be able to do weird things.
It's okay, Jeff. We're going to help you through this.
For a human your age, it is totally normal that your body goes through some changes.
Oh my god, it's the paladin version of the talk.
I've heard that humans mature very early.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you see,
I'm sure it's perfectly normal, Jeff, and like a lot of other people have been through what you're going through. Not me, but
I mean, you have to remember, Jeff arrived. He was given a place to stay. He found this book. He's been reading this book, quote unquote, religiously for the past 2 weeks, whilst answering all of the sermons in the headers. I'm assuming this has indirectly caught me the favor of said God.
wow, this
I am
guy's
now a
really
paladin.
engaged with my religion. He needs boons.
That's how this has come.
Right. Juno, would you make a religion check for me, please?
I can, bear with me. Come on, plus religion. And I haven't transferred that over yet. What was it in my other sheet?
I saw your intelligence mod being 0. I don't know if you're proficient in religion, though.
I am, because of the acolyte.
Then it's a +2.
And because I picked it. So I get my special +4.
Oh, no. We're going to talk about that after the fact. It's just a +2.
All right, we'll change it so it's just that then. No double proficiencies in anything.
No.
Nope.
Okay. There we go. It is now canon with my natural 20 that this is exactly how Jeff became a paladin.
You do remember there being a part in the book that talks about the influence of Versiopa on the material plane. And in one paragraph, it talks about creatures that have been influenced by her that undergo some physical changes and thus usually gain some abilities that animals usually wouldn't have. Some examples, other than, well, spikes growing out of your back, would also be true sight and low-level regeneration abilities. Not every animal gets all of them. Some get only one. Some undergo only physical changes. But one thing that they all have in common, they do become more fierce.
Oh.
Yeah, I refer this back to Mervyn after going, wait. I remember this, and I get my book out and I flick back to the bit and I recant what's just been shared, and I'm like, I don't think we're going to have a good time if we try to knock it out. So I think we go with Solon's plan and we just go back and deal with the hunters. And
Okay. I don't want to fight this bear either, so I am begrudgingly on board with this plan, but we have to do a good job hiding the bodies because the last thing we want is for the city to send in more hunters who then find the bodies and be like, wait, these bodies weren't killed by a bear, these bodies were killed by people, and then we get in trouble. Because
Oh.
I don't need
Oh, no,
that
it'll
kind of
be
heat on me now, right? You get I don't need that kind of attention. So stealth, like politically, stealth is the key here, folks.
Solon might want to have the bodies.
That's even better. Like built-in waste disposal. We've got this. Okay, let's go and kill these hunters. Okay, we're doing this.
Right, just to clarify, did Solon just speak of herself in the third person?
No, that was me.
Oh, all right. Let's just say I wouldn't have been surprised.
No, me neither, to be honest. Actually, that could be actually a fun character track thing to do as Solon.
All right, so you want to go back to where you came from and confront the hunters.
I feel like that's the sucker's move, though. And not because Millie suggested it, that's not anything to do with it, but because if we do that, think of how suspicious they were last time. I don't think we left on the best of terms. So, plan.
Let's
They
fake
didn't seem to
injuries.
have... first problem, they need to believe that we just fought a bear. So,
With spikes.
not necessarily with spikes, like they're not going to be looking that closely, but we do need to look a bit dinged up somehow. So I think that some convincing blood effects could actually really help us here. So we need to find some kind of wild animal that we're going to very apologetically murder the snot out of and then cover ourselves with its blood so that we look like we have been in a fight with a bear.
Oh wait, we're supposed to be sorry about killing innocent animals? Oh.
Well, I mean, that's optional. That's not the point. The point is we need to look like we have fought a bear.
I'm for this idea. This idea sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then once we approach them and they believe that we've just fought a bear, rather than fight them on the edge of the forest where they might have an advantage, we lead them to a place in the forest where we have an advantage, and then we jump them.
Oh,
We have a bear trap.
an idea. Bear trap, exactly. How about we set the bear trap back here? We leave some rations nearby, so hopefully that keeps that bear nearby. And then, best case scenario, they die to the bear. Technically, after we've maybe killed them, but still, it will look like the bear got them after stepping foot in their own bear trap because they were harried by the bear.
And they thought they knew where all their bear traps were. Unless they noticed that we had a bear trap and then now we don't have a bear trap. Or we can just say we used the bear trap on the bear.
We used a bear trap on the bear, obviously.
I mean, it is a bear trap. Guys,
Indeed.
I think this is the best plan that anyone has ever had in the history of having plans.
And they're just humans, so we're fine.
There's nothing wrong with being human so long.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with being human. I'm sorry, Jeff.
Oh, fine. Right. Bear trap. So, where would be a good spot for a bear trap?
Jeff, where would you not expect a bear trap?
In the middle of the path because you'd see it?
Excellent. Let's put it in the middle of the path.
Oh my god, because like they would have covered it with leaves and stuff that made it look natural. We can cover it in dirt and stuff that they're never going to expect.
Yes.
If we slightly bury it with a thin coating of dirt, being very, very careful to not catch our hands in it because that's not what we need after the ordeal that today has suddenly turned into.
Well,
Then we can go and we can lure them into the trap.
just to
And
remind
the
you,
second it goes off, like the other person who's not caught in a bear trap is going to be like, oh no, and that's our moment.
just to remind you, path in this case is just the path you took, like the way you came in. There is no actual path here. that you've been
That's
following.
good though, because that's going to make the bear trap that much more difficult to spot in a place where they weren't expecting there to be a bear trap, because they were the only people who had bear traps in the first place.
Where we had a bear trap.
Yeah, but we can say we used it on the bear, so they think they
Yeah.
know where all the bear traps are, and they're not looking for bear traps.
Yep.
Okay, so do we lay the bear trap first, or do we kill the wild animal that we need to coat ourselves in its blood first? I think actually no, because if we lay the bear trap first, then find the wild animal, like we need it to look as fresh as possible, so it looks like we've just come from the bear fight and haven't been dicking around doing something else in the forest that will make them suspicious. So the fresher that evidence, quote unquote, is, the better. So let's find a place to put the bear trap.
After you.
Are you guys okay?
No.
I was just taking a sip.
I'm sorry. I just realized like that we're treating all the humans like they're idiots.
Well,
I don't know when that became a character trait for mine and Skiganance's character that we're low-key racist to humans. I'm
You
not
real-
actually on board with this.
You
I need
realize
to
that
get
after
out of
2
that.
hours. You've been doing it for 2 hours.
Well, okay, it's not our fault that humans have inferior eyes. So
It's more that we've got characters with superior eyes.
yeah.
I feel like the solution to this problem is to get Jeff some magic eyes.
Yeah.
All right, new campaign goal: magic eyes. Right.
Yes. Write that down in your prayer book, Jeff.
Back
Magic
page.
eyes for Jeff. I feel like this is actually entirely Versiopa's shtick. Like, Jeff could have true sight eyes, which would be superior to the elf eyes that I've got. And then that just means that one of our party members has true sight, which is redonkulously broken.
So what
But
will
all
happen?
of this is distracting from finding a place to find a bear trap. Or put a bear trap,
So
rather.
what will happen later on tonight is after today's several conversations regarding vision and sight, on the back page of his notebook, which is secretly a prayer book, he's going to draw a picture of himself as best he can remember. But he's going to, where his irises are for eyes, he's going to draw stars.
That'd be cool.
And then, like, in the, like, underneath it'll be like hopes and dreams. And then just like a little kiss. That's what's going to happen tonight. But in the meantime, Jeff's just kind of stood at this point, looking at you rant to yourself about how this is a brilliant idea. I'm looking at Solon and go, okay, so he's obviously gone a little bit bear happy at this moment. It's concerning, but it might just be a racial thing. Who knows? So we need to plant the trap. That's fine. We're on the path. That's good. But if we want them to believe we've been in a bit of a fight, then we need to kill something. Does anyone see any squirrels or birds or rodents or anything? Because I'm pretty sure if I smash one with a hammer, it's going to get a bit bloody. That will be good enough. Surely.
Are you saying you're gonna try to smash a squirrel with a warhammer?
That is what it sounded like he was saying.
Sure,
Yeah.
I'll watch that.
I mean, it just goes splat. Have you never played rat splatting?
No. What's that?
Clearly, Jeff the Great had a very different childhood to what we had so long.
Jeff used to play rat splatting when he was a kid with a small hammer. That's how they dealt with rats in cellars. They would send down the small children with hammers.
Well, okay, so we need animals
that took a
that are
turn.
splattable. Does someone want? Do we roll survival for that, Millie? For finding splattable animals?
Sure, roll a survival check.
Where's my survival?
Everyone that wants to look for animals can make one.
We have a 13 and a 20. So I'm guessing we find some maybe squirrels, a couple of resting birds.
you can, after a few minutes of looking around, Jeff, you do spot a hole in between some roots, and you were probably someone that just puts his hand in there, right?
Yeah.
That's what humans do,
I mean,
right?
you've got gloves, probably, right?
Big arm, I've got a glove on, it'll be fine.
Right. You reach in, it's a little bigger than your arm. You reach in, feel something, feel many things running around, grab, pull it out, and you've got a little bunny in your hand.
I squish it.
That's great, actually. Bunnies have way more blood in them than squirrels.
Solon has a dagger, by the way.
Yeah, but that's not got the splattage of the Warhammer.
Oh, no. Solon can fix that. See, you just need to cut it right to get the maximum amount of blood out of it. Also, it's more fun that way.
Okay.
Jeff tried to squish it with his hand, failed, didn't realize he's maybe not strong enough to squish a bunny in his hand.
No, actually, would you please... No, well, it doesn't pop, but it squeaks, and then you hear a snapping sound, and then it goes limp.
So I'm going to repeat this for as many as I can get out of the hole.
So what you're saying
Millie's
is that
face is just looking progressively more traumatized as this goes on.
So what you're
I'm
saying
so
is that
sorry.
instead of cutting up a perfectly dead, fresh bunny body, we're gonna just keep creating more bunny bodies.
Well, the way I figure it, Jeff's gone. Bunny can splat. If I've got several bunnies, that's a bigger splat, right?
Let's do it.
And if they're not moving, I can't really miss.
You know, being the one that proposed an evil campaign, one should assume that I would be least surprised by this.
I mean, I don't know what you actually did expect, to be honest.
Well, I didn't expect it to only take 2 hours to get to this point.
Isn't this like typically how you'd go and get your dinner? This is Jeff in the Woods Survival 101. Rabbits, hole, squeeze, skin, cook on fire.
I'm not disturbed by what you're doing right now. It's just...
It's disturbing how good we are at it.
It's just the sequence of events that transpired until this point.
First us trying to be peaceful, and then just going, yeah, let's just kill him.
Oh, and everything in between. All right, so Jeff, you try and get more bunnies. Right. You can grab 2 more bunnies. After that, somehow they disappeared. You know there were more of them, but they are not there anymore.
Bloomin' rabbit warrens, they got away from me, so I've got 3 of them.
And
So we've got 1 bunny
if you want to
each.
snap them again you don't even need to roll. You're a buff guy.
Solon would like to have one of the bunnies alive for unspecified reasons.
I hand you the dead bunny, and I'm like,
Sorry. It's fine. Dead works too. They'll just stay fresh for a shorter amount of time.
So what Jeff's going to do is, because obviously the plan's been explained, Jeff's going to take his Warhammer, he's going to smoosh one of them, then rub his Warhammer around in whatever's left, and then maybe smear his arm and shield a bit so it looks like he got some on him when he was protecting it, but otherwise he doesn't put any on himself, just his Warhammer and shield.
All right. And that was 1 bunny, right?
That was 1 bunny.
All right.
I look at Marvin. I'm like, Mervyn. I keep wanting to say Marvin.
Marvin. Mervyn's actually just the Welsh form of the name Marvin. So
fair enough. I look at Mervyn and I'm like, I've got the second bunny. I'm like, do you think you'd be smooshed by the bear, or would it make more sense that I took all of the smooshing?
I mean, I'm less well armored than you, so I think it makes more sense that I've taken more punishment. But now that I've seen Smushed Bunny, I am less eager to rub it all over myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my eyes, and you are going to do it for me, Jeff.
While they're doing that, Solon's gonna hold Bunny by the legs and just cut the throat and pour the blood into something, and then, like you're
Professionally.
like you're
Solon's done
actually
this before.
yeah.
When you've seen, I'm going to say kids, but you've probably done it yourself. You've got a teddy bear, it's got 2 legs, 2 arms. You hold it by one leg and you throw it so it cartwheels.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, to get
I
the blood
do
out.
that with the bunny at Mervyn's face.
I've shut my eyes at this point. I trusted Jeff. This may
You know
be
what?
the last time.
Just for the
Does,
lulz,
does Jeff hit my face with the bunny that's cartwheeling through the air?
make a ranged attack, please. So roll a d20, add your proficiency and your dexterity modifier.
That would just be a dex saving throw, wouldn't it? Plus
Also,
proficiency.
considering I'm not trying to dodge, I think my AC for this will be 11.
It splats just on like your foot. Plus 2, so 8.
8. Well, you miss the face. You hit the torso as he's not been moving. Yeah, Mervyn, you feel something impact your chest and some liquid splatter onto your face and arms.
I certainly was not aiming for your face.
Okay.
Yeah.
I open my eyes and look down and try and assess whether or not this looks convincingly like battle damage.
Make an intelligence check.
Oh dear. 6.
Looks good enough. It's blood.
I look
It's
so
on you.
convincingly like I've been in a fight with a bear.
I sit there and I'm like, I know what's missing. So at this point, because obviously I'm wearing full chainmail, it's just a shirt that goes over my actual shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I get the bit where it hooks onto my trousers, and I like unconnect it, so it's kind of all hanging loose, and then I pick up the bunny and I kind of smoosh around the middle section, so it looks like maybe I got hit a bit. Looking at how bad that didn't really help on Mervyn, I'm like, fine. So I get myself a bit bloody, and then I'm just like smile and nod.
All right.
Yeah, Solon's just been painting herself with the blood that she professionally got out of the bunny instead of smooshing actual bunny over herself.
Well, it depends on how far we had to go to find those.
Yeah, we didn't really move, did we?
Not really, no. You didn't. You didn't move at all.
Can I still see where the bear is supposed to be?
Make a perception check.
Don't say it like that. I got 19. Is the bear still where it was?
No.
Oh dear.
Is the bear at least heading in the same direction?
You cannot see him.
Oh dear.
It's gone.
Guys, we made a horrible mistake. Not the first today.
At which point, assuming you've just relayed what you've just asked in chat to us as a group, we all kind of look at each other, look in the direction of the path, and I'm like, maybe we should go back to the hunters quickly.
I'm 100% on board with that idea.
I just start jogging.
I try to keep up.
Alright, so you start jogging back to the edge of the forest.
Hopefully not trailing a super bear.
Oh. You can pray. You all got the same deity. Maybe she will listen to one of you.
I'm praying as I run. I don't think it's going to help.
Right, I gotta check these numbers. Oh dear!
So for those who can't see what we just rolled, Skiggadance and I just both fumbled and rolled natural ones.
Whereas I, the natural, unintentional religious paladin, rolled a 10.
Well, you utter a quick prayer to Versiopa as you jog hastily towards the edge of the forest. And after about half an hour of jogging, you start to calm down. You feel like you haven't heard anything behind you. And especially for, well, actually, he's got a strength of 18, so he wouldn't even be that sweaty. Solon, on the other hand, you've gotten quite warm now. And as you continue your path towards the hunters, you realize, hey, now actually being sweaty might be beneficial for your quote-unquote disguise.
Yeah, I think this could work out, guys.
This could totally work out. I just realized that if we failed and the bears followed us, we're bringing the bear to the hunters.
That's good. We can kill and leave them for the bears.
The hunters become the bear bait, and then we don't have to find a second bear. Because that's the choice we're faced with, guys. Like, kill the hunters or find 2 bears.
And make one look spiky.
Yeah. And not the one that already looks spiky.
Yes.
Because we found the spiky one and we have subsequently lost that one. Okay, but so here's the thing, right? They asked us to just tell them on the map where the bear was. Now, our map is rubbish. And I think that they would conceivably believe that we don't know where on the map we found the bear. Like the forest is kind of twisty, and we followed your tracks, to be honest.
Hey, let's splash the map with blood so we can't point on the map where the bear is.
That's genius.
Jeff starts to put the map away. Oh.
I suppose we did get it from Esther. Like, it would be kind of mean to ruin the cult map.
Let's just tell them we lost the map in the fight.
I mean,
yes. The bear ambushed us, and the first thing that it got was the map.
Yeah, it took our map.
The bear ate it, so we're going to just have to walk you guys into the forest. Why are you laughing? This is the best plan ever still. Despite us running in terror from a bear that we lost. Despite it being like 100 feet away.
All right. So we have successfully, as far as we're aware, escaped the bear. We are not bloodying the map. Take it, how far away from back to the entrance or where we think we'll meet them?
No, because if we come out in the right place, they're going to think that we still have the map. We need to come out in the wrong place and then walk along the forest edge.
But it's quite easy to remember the path you took. Or is that just a human thing?
Guys, we haven't set up the bear trap. I have an even better plan. Let's just kill them. And then drag the bodies into the forest.
And leave them for the bear.
And leave them for the bear.
Okay, but how do we get close enough that when we decide to strike, they can't just run away?
Well, no. They asked us to show them on the map where we killed the bear. We need to get close for that. So we have to
get within map showing range.
Yes.
And I can flirt with the daughter.
Flirt with the daughter, Jeff. Offer her strong genes for the next generation. Humans love that.
Yeah, that's how humans work, right?
Yeah.
I shouldn't criticize, really. I'm a half elf, so I'm half human.
I was raised by humans, so I really shouldn't be.
We are bad at role playing. But great at lying.
Oh, wait, I know. That's how peasants work, right?
Okay, that's more in character for you, I think. Okay, so we got a plan. So we need to go and we need to find these hunters. Now, I am not gonna do well within stabbing range. You may have noticed I'm not as heavily armored as you two. So I vote that Jeff is the one that shows them the map, or Solon, but not me, because I need to not be in stabbing range. I need to be in Eldritch Blast kind of range, sort of thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
We can both go. Like me and Jeff can go.
Yeah.
Just hang back and look injured.
I'll look injured, I'll look out of breath, it'll be fine. We can do this. Okay. We have a plan.
We have a plan.
So
It's
knowing
great.
what Jeff does, when we get to like the edge of the foresty bit and we get back out onto the path, assuming we get to the bit where we can see the hunter, I take my backpack off and I put a blanket down and I kind of just wave and pull out a ration and pass a ration to Mervyn, because there you go. There's now a legitimate reason why he's potentially going to be there. I pull out the map, and obviously my shield's still on my back. My warhammer's still clipped to me. My lantern's on. I walk up with, I'm assuming, with Solon up to the hunter and his daughter.
All right, so you do all that after you've trekked all the way back, Mervyn being slightly away from the conversation, and the hunter now clearly on edge, seeing as you approach and the guy that sweet talked him earlier does not.
I try and look as injured as possible.
Solon is just smiling gently, warmly.
Oh,
You're a
welcomely.
snake, so neither of those things apply.
So I'll be walking up and I'll be like, hello, fellow hunter. You could have perhaps mentioned that bear had spikes. That was not pleasant. But anyway.
I thought you knew that already,
Well,
seeing as you followed us.
Well, they said it was a bit weird. They didn't say it had spikes. I mean, what kind of bear has spikes? I mean, big, fluffy, nice pelts, pelts that you want to cut off, lay on the floor, make a carpet out of. What are you going to do with a carpet that's spiky? And at this point, I'm laying on the big, happy, smiley charm as best as I can through this conversation. It's just ridiculous. Who wants a spiky carpet?
Make just a performance check for me, please.
Not persuasion, fine, performance. I can do this.
Well, you're not trying to persuade him right now. You're trying to put on a show.
Rolled a 13. If I have advantage from my earlier intimidation, then 21.
No. A 13. Yeah, he seems to calm down a bit, seeing as you're behaving very friendly. His daughter, on the other hand, is just looking at you with wide eyes, and a very... Well, it certainly looks a little like someone had drained all the blood from her face as she looks at you. You get the feeling her father might have explained to her, might have talked to her about Jeff.
Jeff's famous past that he's not fully entirely aware of.
You're not fully aware of what people talk about, but you got a rough idea.
Is this Solon's time to shine as Jeff's being like, hey, human lady. So Jeff Fair is really single,
The snake person trying to set you up with a stranger that you've just been told is a vicious murderer.
Well, thankfully, it is
not
not
anyone. It was just a bank robbery, and I beat up some heroes. So I'm really.
He's really rich.
And
he robbed a bank. He's rich. He has all the money.
Well, good for it. The good thing is a UNT pureblood does not resemble a snake as much. So as long as you cannot see all of her skin and and her eyes are hidden, which they're humans. It's night.
They've got human eyes.
They've got human eyes. So her eyes are invisible right now. So the sheer sight of Solon doesn't frighten her. At least not more as the sight of Jeff does.
Jeff now covered in blood, which they have no idea is actually just rabbit blood rather than bear blood or ours.
Well, they were kind of expecting something like that, so that
yeah.
So during this conversation, then, so obviously the girl's looking at me.
Yes.
He's calmed down himself a little bit, so I try and recount. I try and persuade them that we were quite successful. We managed to capture it with a couple of. Well, we managed to partially trap it. Needless to say, it was not happy when it stuck its foot inside this bear trap. Right? It was. The noise it made, this kind of type noise, and I'm hoping, being a big guy, unlike myself in real life, that came out quite deeply and rumbly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and it was great. It got its foot stuck in, and it did this, and then I managed to hit it with my hammer, and I hold my war hammer up in like one hand, like by the edge, by the tip of it, as if I'm just kind of like not in a menacing way, just literally holding up on it. And I got blood all over it, and then it tried to, and I put my thing back, and I get my shield off my back, right, and then it tried to eat me, and I had to hit it with the shield, and all the time, like, I'm smiling between the pair of them. I'm like, it was. Sorry, it was thrilling. It was a fantastic hunt. Now, I believe Mervyn back there said we owe you 1 pelt. Now, the pelt should be fine. It may have lost a couple of teeth because, well, kind of happens when you smash a bear in the face. But we know roughly where it is. Do you want to head there now? I know there's occasionally wolves and stuff in the area. You don't want the corpse to just, I'm assuming, be eaten. That's not good.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yes, please lead the way. And you see, he during all of this, he's been looking more and more confused because of the tone of your voice while recounting everything.
I think at this point, it's actually just more consistent with the pre-existing weirdness that he's already experienced.
Yeah, but would you just make a deception check for me, please?
Not me or Jeff?
Jeff.
Oh, I was hoping it'd be me.
Come on, naturally decent charisma. 19.
Millie's face.
All right. Yeah, he seems to not suspect a thing. And cool. Thus, they both follow you into the woods.
Can I inquire about their names?
Yes, I'm sorry.
We should know their names before they die.
Do we have to?
Well, you don't have to listen. My name is Tees, and this is my daughter, Mathieu. But we've been in this town for years. But yeah, if you don't mind, I'm not really up for a chat. And it's getting late, and we had to walk more than we anticipated, so I'd really appreciate you just showing us where we can find our bounty.
Out of character, I just realised at this point that we have not agreed a signal for, let's actually just murder them now.
Nope, you haven't.
So I'm just waiting until one of you two makes a move.
I have a cantrip. I can use poison spray.
Do you do that right now? You've been walking a few meters inside the inside the forest now.
I imagine they're coming
So-
closer to where I'm sat with my
So,
blanket.
so we're just barely out of sight from the road and such. Like, we can't be seen from outside the forest, right?
It would be pretty hard to spot you now, especially during night.
Well, actually, this is a question. I'm assuming then if we kind of got into the forest a bit, that means I went and picked up my blanket and my bag.
Yeah, you could find them on the way.
Okay, so I'm with you again now.
Mervyn is with us. Am
Yeah.
I'd probably be leading the way because I've talked to him. What I'd like to attempt to do is get a little bit closer to Martia and try and get her to have a conversation. And it's completely not in the way you lot are thinking.
Hey, I don't make assumptions about what you humans do. Okay, that's
Hey, Solon, like, I don't make assumptions about what peasants do. Like, you do what you want to do. Like, she looks like she would give strong children, but I think she might be a myth after you kill her dad.
okay.
Yeah, so that's
So
what
you're
I
trying to
try.
have a conversation with Mattia.
Yeah. So I want to have a conversation with her, and assuming her dad doesn't instantly shoot Lyca down and just make her back away, I kind of lead back to the fight with the bear, because that
Alright.
gives me a reason to take my shield off my back and show where it tried to bite my arm off, and then
so
how
you-
I hit it with my hammer.
So that's what you're doing. All right. Yeah. You can clearly see the color starting to return to her face now that she thinks that she has nothing to worry about.
I feel so bad.
Hey, no, it's fine, it's fine. Solon wanna try to poison spray the dad in the face.
Oh,
Right now?
okay, this is the go signal. Do we roll initiative now?
All right. Give me, poison spray. I think that's just
It's just a cantrip.
yeah, cantrip. I think, is it a cone or is it just into someone's face?
But it's a
I'm just
puff
looking
of
up.
gas
a
from my
puff.
palm.
Okay, a puff of gas. So you just turn towards him and puff. Now, is it an attack roll or do I have to roll?
Constitution save needs to be taken.
All right, one Constitution saving throw, and because it's a cantrip, if I succeed, I'll take no damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the damage?
1d12. 1d12.
1d12.
Yep, that's what it says.
And it's poison damage.
Conjuration cantrip. Jesus.
Is it 1d12? What?
I
strong.
can post you a screenshot of the rulebook.
No,
yeah,
no,
I'm
no,
surprised
no. I'll
it's
take
you.
it. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Okay, roll a d12. Let's see the
God.
answer.
Tree.
3 points of damage. All right.
3 damage.
Right. As you turn towards him, make some hand gestures and let some poison appear in his face, and he breathes it, and he starts coughing and looks at you bewildered and shouts for his daughter and pulls his sword. Please roll initiative.
This is just as Jeff says, and then I smashed the bear in the face and hit her.
Probably right about that. Yes.
Oh my god.
Broken. I rolled an 18.
I rolled a 10.
A 10, a 18, and for Mervyn,
For mine, I've got a 17.
17. All right, Jeff, you go first. Right as Martia is pulling her sword, you get the first swing.
I'm sorry. So I'm like, and then, and the bear, it like tried to bite my arm off. So what I did is I took my hammer and I smashed it in the face as I swing at her face.
All right.
16. Or 22 if I have advantage.
No, that hits
Or 7.
for 7 points of damage. All right. Yeah, that brings her down to this number. As you smack your warhammer into her face, you hear her cheekbones crack, and as you pull away, you can the skin just split. There's a huge wound right under her eye now, and she looks a little dazed and shocked at you. But also, but a second later, her eyes turn to anger. That's an 18. That's next one would be Mervyn.
Okay.
Let's just
the
say
time
you're
has
right in
come.
between all this.
What weapons is the daughter wielding? I never actually asked.
She's got the same weaponry as her dad.
Okay.
Longbow and short sword. Right now she's pulled the short sword.
How close each other are the dad and the daughter?
It's not going to matter in a few minutes.
But
But a side question would be, did we have surprise round?
that was basically Solon using her poison spray.
She went slightly before the hammer to the face comment. Understood?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to find where my spell attack is, and I don't know where it is. I think I need to actually set it up as an attack, don't I?
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to use Eldritch Blast to hit the daughter.
Oh yeah, it's not set up as an attack.
Okay, so I would just need to. What my proficient? Do I get proficiency plus charisma, right?
You can just drag it into the attacks and spellcasting bit.
I could if it was on the same area. My spells are actually on an entirely separate tab on my character sheet.
Mervyn, yeah, your spell attack is on the top of your spells list, also, or it would just be 7. Your charisma plus
what?
What?
How did you get to cast it?
What you do, in the middle of your screen, you see where it says attacks and spellcasting on your core page.
Yes.
Do you already have Eldritch Blast on there?
No, that's the entire core of the problem that we're now having.
Click on the plus.
Yeah.
Then on the eye in the top right, search for Eldritch Blast. When it appears in the list under spells, drag the spell onto the bit where you clicked plus.
Okay, I was with you up until you said I in the top right. There is no I in the top right.
We'll take care of that. We'll take care of that in a few minutes.
I'm just going to roll a d20.
Yeah, d20 adds 7, and the damage of the Eldritch Blast is a d10.
Okay, so what's is it just /roll and then d20?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, I rolled a 5, so add the 7 to that, I get a 12.
At who are you shooting at, by the way?
It was the father in this case.
All right. As you turn towards him, he just looks at you and ducks below the Eldritch Blast that shoots. Shoots out from your hand. Now.
Okay, that's the problem I'm having, Juno, is that my character sheet is in an entirely separate window. I don't have that section on the right.
Yeah. We'll figure it out later.
Yeah. Problems for later.
Yeah. Because Solon didn't roll well, now there's the hunters at 16. So the dad is currently engaged with Solon. Therefore, that will be what he attacks. And that would be an 11.
Oh no.
Does an 11 hit you?
I don't know.
What's your AC? Your armor class?
16.
That does not hit you at all. It just glances off your scale mail.
And then Solon looks mildly offended.
Right.
Like, how dare he attack her when she attacked him?
Never mind that. Let's see what the daughter can do to Jeff. Although I feel like his AC is not lower than that. I don't even bother. I rolled lower than the dad. Never mind. She doesn't even hit you, Jeff. She just swings wide. That's how bad this attack roll was.
Stunned, that's what it was.
Which brings us to Solon.
Yes. How close to each other are the dad and the daughter right now? Are they within 5 feet of each other?
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like
I'm gonna toll the dead them.
Oh, yeah, you can do that.
I can hit 2 people.
And they're both
With
hurt.
Yep.
All right. Told them. I've got I think it's a wisdom save.
Wisdom save, yeah.
Against 15?
My wisdom is 16.
No, not your wisdom. Your spell attacks. Your spell save. That's on your spell page. Although, what's your?
Yeah, it's 13.
13. All right. Wisdom save against 13. Daughter fails. Dad fails as well.
Yeah, so they're taking. I think it's 1d12. Yeah, 1d12 necrotic.
Yes.
I'm gonna roll the dad first. That's 10. And then the daughter takes 1.
Yes.
Is the dad still alive?
For anyone that's paying attention to the dad, all of a sudden he hasn't taken a huge blow so far. He's just been coughing and retching a little, but all of a sudden you hear this bell sound coming from him. Blood trickling out of his ears, and he just buckles over, and he's still alive. He's on all fours now on the ground, but that did definitely hurt him. Oh, death clerics. Right, which brings us back to Jeff. The girl.
Finish what you started, Jeff.
You heard the bell ringing from both of. You heard the bell ring coming from both of them. She just winced a little though, and there's no blood coming out of her ear. It didn't seem to affect her that much.
In that case, then, as a kind of, did you say? I can't remember whether it costs bonus actions to put shields or draw weapons and stuff, or whether.
Oh no, one weapon interaction. You can do weapon interaction for free if you want. That doesn't take much time.
I'm gonna kind of realizing that apparently she's not very good at what she's got. I drop my shield so that I can follow up my one-handed hammer to the face with a two-handed full-on body shot.
All right. Then let's then make your attack.
I roll a 14.
That hits. Roll damage.
I am talking to myself as well.
1d10 plus 4, I think. Yeah, we had that already.
Turn off my talk to myself so I can actually do the damage roll. 9.
9. All right, as you you drop your shield and swing your warhammer with both hands right into her torso, and it actually sinks in. You just hear multiple ribs cracking, the air escape her lungs, and for a moment she's still upright until you pull back your hammer and she just collapses to the ground. She's done. Her chest is caved in. Mervyn?
And then, seeing as I've still got some movement,
right.
what I'll do is I'll move over. I'll pick up my shield, and if I can't, I'll just move over to support Mervyn. To support Solon.
Sure, you're pretty much clumped together. It's basically just once turn around and take a step, and you're right in front of him.
Done.
All right. Now, Mervyn.
Okay. This is going to be a really difficult question to answer. Which one of them looks more injured?
Who, me?
No, the enemies. You guys are fine. You haven't been
You
done.
mean the dead daughter or the dad collapsed on his Alfor?
From my perspective, they both look pretty equally dead at this stage.
No, the dad, he's on all fours. Like, he's still, you can see him breathe, and he's not lying on the ground. He didn't collapse to the ground fully. The
Oh, whereas
daughter, though, she
did.
just slumped. But like a rag doll, basically.
Well, look, I have been sold this Eldritch Blast shit, and I am going to get my money's worth out of it because I have done one attack with it and it has missed. So I'm going to try again and Eldritch Blast the dad. He's prone now, so he should be easier to shoot.
What you miss?
Funny enough, prone targets are actually disadvantaged when you go with ranged attacks. But he's not prone. He's not prone.
Fuck's sake, Skiganancy, you had to say it.
What did you roll, buddy?
9.
That doesn't hit.
No, I know.
You just buy. You're not used to this. Like, you're very new to all this magic stuff. And
This is
it's
my monk
it's
all
a
over
very
again. The
strange
last
feeling.
5th edition character I played was a monk, and this happened with that too. It's fairly good on paper, but my rolls always screw me.
It's just this. It was your second attack during all of this, so yeah, your Eldritch Blast just streaks right past his head. Would have been a really nice hit, but alas, it didn't happen.
Okay.
Is there anything else you would like to do?
I'd like to make sure that I'm at least not within melee range of anyone who can stab me.
All right, easy enough. You can take a few steps back and get out of range.
Maybe that's my problem. I'm casting it too close. I'm not taking the time to aim because I keep thinking, how could I miss?
Maybe that is the case. But now it's the hunter's turn, and he struggles to get back up, and he has pure rage in his eyes, especially after glancing over and seeing his daughter collapse on the ground. It's just pure hatred staring into your soul, Solon. And he tries to swing at you with his short sword. And it goes completely wide. Like, this last blow you dealt to him, it really took the wind out of him.
Scrambled his brain a bit.
Yes, very much so. He almost lets the sword slip out of his hands. And, well, what are you gonna do, Solon?
Can I use cantrips multiple times in a row?
You can use cantrips anytime.
As many turns in a row as you like.
There's no limit on cantrips.
So in theory, I can just sit there and I can toll the bell over and over on this guy.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. Although I do actually want to try doing a spell, so I want to try to Ray of Sickness him.
Ooh.
How do I roll spells?
You can just ping. Is it an attack? I don't think it's an attack.
I have 60 feet of range, so.
Let me just.
Yeah, ranged spell attack.
Ranged spell attack. All right. You are in melee, so making that attack would be at a disadvantage.
Hmm. I don't know how to do regular attacks.
Technically, your Toll the Dead would have also been a disadvantage, but it's not. Technically, it's not. No, it's not because you're not. Because it's a saving throw.
I just
Never mind
point.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just point and it rings.
Yes. So, what are you gonna do?
I want to try Ray of Sickness, so we can explain how I do spell attacks.
You want to do a Ray of Sickness. All right. In that case, you do. Well, you are at disadvantage because of melee. You just roll. Well, technically, you can just use your guiding bolt that you already have because that's also spell attack. It will be the same roll.
Yep.
Just click on that, and that's a 10 because because it's at disadvantage.
Yeah.
So a ray of really strange green energy shoots from your fingers, but because he's right in front of you, he can he just slaps your hand to the side, and your ray of sickness just shoots past him. Unfortunately, not doing anything. It does, though, impact into a tree, if you want to examine that later. Right. Well, big old Jeff.
No words needed.
Yes, do it. You know what? You don't even need to roll damage. He's at 3 hit points. Your minimum is 5. How do you want to do this?
See GIF.
All right, seek it. So you basically just take a leap and bring your hammer down right on his head.
Yep. Kind of, he's just there, so I'm like, okay, take a step back, and a little hop, and a downward swing.
And now, after an hour of waiting, you finally get your splat, your big splat, as you just pop his head with your hammer.
Please, can I do a quick bit of acrobatics to try and get my feet out of the way?
There's no getting the feet out of the way. He's standing. You're splatting his head basically on the way down. You're full of blood.
No.
So is Solon, by the way, as she's standing right next to you. You're both splattered with blood. More blood than
Solon
before.
don't mind.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to say. Right. And as Jeff brings down his hammer and the hunter's body, well, collapses like a ragdoll, we're gonna end tonight's stream. Today's stream. That was certainly something.
Stop. Hammer time. And good night.
Yes,
Good night.
thank you all very much for tuning in. Have a good night, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Goodbye.
I feel like